Welcome everybody for this week's coffee break. We appreciate you all joining us, the first in our series this in the month of February. Hope everyone has a cup of coffee and is ready for an update on the current capabilities of systems power supplies, powering your security and audio video systems. I'm Neil Ryder, a senior account executive with Long Building Technologies in the Seattle office, part of the Seattle Security Solutions team. We appreciate everyone joining us this morning and your time. It should be an informative session on power supplies, what's new, different, and the capabilities of the systems. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Steve Olivia, who is the Western U.S. Sales Manager for Altronix. And Steve, take it away.
Thank you, Neil, and thanks for having me this morning. Always humbled to be a part of these types of presentations. We appreciate you and all of your customers as partners with Altronix. First and foremost, I hope everyone is staying safe and staying healthy as well, more importantly, especially through these trying times. Today, I am the Western U.S. Sales Manager for Altronix, and today what I'd like to accomplish on this coffee break is just to kind of give you and your customers a little bit of an overview as to Altronix, who we are, some new innovations as far as how we bring power to your access control solutions, and if we have enough time, some other styles of solutions as well. And then finally, also talk a little bit about the trends in remote power management, actually being able to take this power and be able to monitor it and or manipulate it remotely to help improve service costs and uptime on their solutions as well. So having said that, I'll go ahead and begin. Again, Altronix is a US-made company. We are a US manufacturer of power supplies and IP equipment. We are the leader in global and power data transmission in the safety and security world. We've been around for almost 35 years. So two owners out of New York City got together over 35 years ago and have definitely created what we call industry renowned support. We still answer our phones live and we still answer our tech support calls live. So we definitely pride ourselves on sense of urgency for customers and our partners like Long. We do have a beautiful, robust security supply chain as far as the products are concerned. Average lead time on most of our custom products, and custom is going to be some of the things we talk about today, is anywhere from 5 to 7 days lead time. So when we're talking about getting those products created and then out to, sorry for the West Coast because we're the furthest from New York, but we have to add on a little bit of a shipping time for that. Anywhere from 5 to 7 business days typically is for any of our products. What we do like to boast is and take advantage, and Long does take advantage of this if they have to, is all of our products offer a true lifetime warranty, no questions asked. So act of God, act of the customer, act of Long by accident, or act of us, we will repair or replace that board, no questions asked. We've got some really funny stories. If anyone ever wants to reach out to Long and hear some of the customer stories, we've had some funny ones where lightning or other things have taken place, gunshots. We'll take those boards and repair and replace them, no questions asked. So we really pride ourselves. And again, we are an American brand, Brooklyn, New York. If you can see me on your screen, I've got the Brooklyn Bridge right behind me. An amazing factory, and whether it's Long or whether Long, if it's one of your customers, is ever in New York City and they just want to come by for a 25-cent tour, I'm more than happy to bring them through the factory and kind of see what exactly goes through with an American-made product. So having said that, what we'd like to point out today is really how we help our partners like Long on designing scalable and cost-effective access control systems, right? These days, wall space comes into play when we're bringing in larger access control solutions. Where are we going to put these products? Products that looks like I got a little error up there, but products that require dual voltages. So all the products that we sell can handle dual voltage applications, but we have to make sure that we're doing it correctly and designing these systems correctly. We also want to design these systems with service and maintenance in mind. So when we talk about the service and maintenance side of things, the ease and the accessibility of getting to these products, but then also for long is really if they can remotely monitor these products, right? So this is the kind of the IoT of things. So getting these devices onto the network as well. And then ultimately, when we do such deployments, we want to make sure that there is efficiency when we assemble these products, and then also reducing the amount of network drops. Because look, again, we don't want a million different network drops being pulled to come into one solution. We want to reduce that amount as well if we can. So when we talk about the challenge and we talk about, I'm going to focus on Linnell S2, designing a scalable solution, we have to take in consideration designing a solution for any environment. Trove supports those design imperfections. Let's say sometimes we don't have enough wall space. It's going to be outside. I want it in a rack. So we've designed this solution called Trove, and a really fun, easy to use system design tool to be able to go in there and kind of see exactly how your solution is going to be designed with all that power, all those sub-assemblies. And, you know, maybe you don't have a good understanding of exactly how this power is going to work, but at least you have an idea of what it's going to look like. And at least know that Long is going to put together a solution that's going to be lifelong. Good one on that one, right? Lifelong. And also taking up as minimal amount of space as possible and easily serviceable.
So
when we talk,
in that regard, if I can interrupt for a sec, so are they, when we design them initially, should they be designed just for the power requirements of our current system? Does it make more sense to design them with expansion capability out of the gate, or they're modular enough that, you know, that should be added as the system grows?
Well, it all depends on your customer, and all three are correct, right? So again, we listen to our customers, but at the end of the day, we always suggest that you always design for expansion, right? Because think about it, and I'm going to focus on the customers that are on board on here. I want 8 doors of access control. We've identified 8 doors. The moment that 8 doors are installed, the customer looks at you and says, God, I wish I had this on other doors. So right. We always try to think ahead of the game. And then as far as the future proof of it, whether or not you do any kind of remote power management now, we can always add it in the future. So our remote power management, when we discuss this, is completely backwards compatible as well, especially when we're thinking about budgets per se. So when we do go to the demo, if we have enough time and we go to the demonstration portion of the Trove design tool, I definitely want to point out some of these really cool features that we have available.
Okay, great.
We also support, when we have these different styles of solutions from Linnell, with these vertical vertical and horizontal installations. So we do also support our S2 side of products as well in these Trove designs. And then as far as the cleanliness is concerned, right? Because there's nothing worse than seeing wires all over the place. And I know Long does a phenomenal job of installation, and we want to make sure that every install looks perfectly clean. So we help them support that application as well by providing pre-deployment opportunities where they can put all the wiring into these wiring chases called Panduit and/or finger ducts. So a lot of great features that are available and ahead of the game for them. When we do talk about all these different solutions that go inside and powering these, what I call computers, right? Because think about it, an access control system is considered to be a computer. We want to take advantage of all the maintenance opportunities with being the IoT these days, the Internet of Things. So if we can get products onto the network, we can definitely service them. And what does that do for us? Well, number one, it can actually report. It can tell us in advance if there is a challenge with the power side of things, right? We also can go in there and just simply pulse devices, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But ultimately, what we're trying to accomplish is give Long a way to go in and go, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, we want to reduce your service costs in the future. We know rolling a truck can be expensive sometimes, and we want to reduce the amount of times we're going to do that just simply if we have to reset a device. So by implementing what we call Link, L-I-N-Q, Link technology, we're able to access these power supplies remotely anywhere around the world, whether you let them or if your facilities directors need to be able to do that, we have that capability. And depending on the product that's deployed is what you're going to get as the feature set. So anywhere from monitoring the battery health. This is very important because how about those times when you get a thunderstorm out there, or I'm here in Arizona, we have what are called haboobs, and the big windstorms come through, and then 2 hours later, everyone's got a power loss at their facility, and they realize that, yeah, the fire alarm's backed up, but maybe the access control system isn't. We want to know in advance through the battery monitoring, the health monitoring, to identify if the batteries are working, if they're charging correctly, and we can do that through Link. We have a multitude of different options that are available when we're talking about the remote monitoring capabilities. And most importantly these days is that we are cyber secured. We do run our products through Trusted Sec. We are constantly updating security features on our products, and I always have to preface, we are only as strong as your network's security strength. So we always point that out, but we are cyber secured on our end as well. Ultimately though, if you want everything under one umbrella, and especially with Linnell S2, we are integrated into the OnGuard software as an OAAP compliant integration, which basically means as a facilities director or as a security operations center, a SOC, we can be pulled up in the alerts menu and be able to access these devices remotely right from the OnGuard solution. And this gives you the opportunity to identify and even correct smaller challenges right out of the gate if you have to. Anything that might need any kind of resolution from Long, they can actually be prepared because of the remote monitoring and the types of reporting that are available to them. Okay. Moving forward, and I guess we do have some time, Anil, I'd like to demonstrate how easy our Trove design tool is and just show the participants a couple of those link-enabled devices that might be able to help them out. Is that okay?
Yeah, that'd be great. And then we've got a couple of questions that have come in, but why don't you show the system design, then I can ask you a couple of questions.
Beautiful. So I'm going in. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
So this is the actual landing page for Linnell S2 for our Trove Access and Power Integration System Design Tool. And if you notice on here, all these different model numbers, and I'm going to hover over them each real quickly and kind of give you the overview. So we do have a rack mount style solution that brings those Linnell controllers into our solution along with power. We have smaller style solutions that can go over the door for those PoE driven Linnell controllers. And we see this a lot in OSDP. We see these because these types of solutions actually provide power through PoE and then power to the door hardware. We see these generally above the plenum by the doors. We do have some miscellaneous style wall style solutions for just the Linnell controllers. We have outdoor rated solutions, so we can place these at substations or remote areas or anywhere that we're having challenges with that we may not particularly be able to put them on an inside location. Guard shacks come up as a good one. Then we have 3 series of wall mount style solutions, our small, our medium, our large. These style solutions are really designed to maximize the space that we have available on the wall. And if you notice, we can support up to 24 doors in our largest enclosure. And that's giving you a lot of opportunity to put as much as we can there. So I'm going to pick on Trove 2, which is our more popular solution, which is up to 8 to 16 doors. I always say up to. And I'm going to let this thing do the spin of death. right? So here's all the spin
There
of
you
death.
go.
So there
Yeah.
we go. So right out of the gate, for all the designers and our customers out there who might be thinking about a solution like this, if you go onto our design tool, all of our dimensions are there, even if you just wanted to look at what the backplane dimension is. All of our Trove solutions do boast a removable backplane. This allows Long to go in and rough in that can first, right? And then they were able to bring these backplanes in with all the product into their office, into their lab, get everything up and running, and maybe all the IP addresses first, and get these things going. So when they get out to the field, it's just a matter of mounting these and terminating the connections. It really helps out tremendously. We do offer Long the ability to use and utilize predetermined kits. And when we do predetermined kits, and I'll give you a, for instance, maybe this 8-door kit here, it gives them enough power for up to 8 doors in a specific scenario. And when these enclosures do ship from Altronix to Long, they do ship with all these products pre-wired and pre-installed to help them reduce their installation time and be a little bit more labor effective, right? But ultimately, what we like to boast is we can design any solution to meet you, the customer, needs. So if you sat with Long and designed a solution, we can create a kit number based on just doing a online kit, and we can create a beautiful part number for you. And I'm just going to show you real quickly how this solution works with dragging and dropping. So maybe we're using an intelligent reader. And you notice all the different areas that these solutions can be dropped into. And if you notice now, I have an 8-door Linnell solution. And we then can go in there and choose our power options. And again, anywhere I see highlighted, I can drag and drop my devices into. I do then also offer multi-output capabilities, being able that I can do 12 and 24 volt DC off of one power supply. So again, all these great little ways of adding these types of solutions in, and we can work with you and Long simply by helping you design these. We're not going to expect you to be experts at designing a solution, but if you notice, we do stackable style solutions to reduce the footprint in there as well. Ultimately, you can design these solutions to look any which way you want them to look. And when we talk about the link style technology, we can actually monitor the power supply itself, which is a simple device that we can add to the design, or we can get a lot more granular and monitor each individual output and replace those analog boards and be able to go in there and actually monitor individual outputs. And by doing so, this gives Long a lot of information when they do, if they ever have to go in there and diagnose a challenge with the access control system, they can go in and start with the power, which normally is the first step when we're diagnosing a solution.
Right.
Yeah. And then ultimately, when we say reducing the network drops, we do also offer hubs that we can drop inside of the solution now. So rather than bringing 3 network drops into this enclosure, we would only really need 1 to come in here, and then just 3 patch cables going over to this little network hub. So when we put together this solution, this design tool, we took in consideration kind of everything that takes place out in the field. We hope almost everything that takes place out in the field, really to help the install time and the maintenance time as well. I'd like to open that up then now for questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let me just ask you a couple of questions that came in. So we assume that the Trove are all UL listed panels, right? And all the different models?
Yeah, all of our Troves are UL 294, which is again for your access control solution. They are UL 294 sub-assemble, which means that we can either design the solution with kits, or we can design them with any of our products inside of them, and they will meet that UL 294 standard.
Excellent. And the Trove would work with all different types of systems besides just Linnell S2, correct?
Oh, that's a great question. So I'm going to go ahead and click the Trove homepage. And for all the customers out there that may not just have Linnell, maybe they have AMAG or Magenitech or other brands, we have plenty to choose from. So we are there to support anyone's needs on your end.
Okay, thank you. Excellent. Steve, thank you very much. That was very informative. We thank you all for joining us on this week's coffee break. Next week, please join us on February 11th, same time, 10 a.m. for the Washington Clean Buildings Law Overview. And will be done by our BI Sales Executive, Cameron. So thank you again all for your time today, and have a good day. Thank you, Steve.
My pleasure. Thank you, everyone.